Welcome to GetX AIML. In this video, we'll try to understand the concept of Gaussian Naive Bayes theorem. What is the concept behind this? You already understood the Naive Bayes theorem. Now, the data that we get, the data we have, may follow different probability distributions. In the probability and statistics, you have seen, so you classify them as continuous distribution or discrete distributions. So, given data may follow a particular distribution in the real world. So, just calculating the probabilities may not help us to get the high accuracy. If you know the underlying characteristics of the data, that means if you fit particular distribution, then it will be easy to estimate the parameters of the distribution as well as to find the results directly with the help of the estimators. Now, for example, what it means is the naive Bayes score is given as probability of P given X is equal to probability of that class into product of all the features, probability of xi given p. Now this likelihood part plays a very important role, that is the evidence. Whatever probability value you calculate here, okay, this comes from my features, right? This x1, x2, x3 are my features. Now this features, whatever data is given, can follow some particular distribution. For example, normal distribution or say binomial distribution, multinomial distribution, like that. So exponential distribution. If you know that the data follows particular distribution, then calculating this becomes easy and also it will be more accurate. So that is the reason, based on the data, we can classify the naive Bayes classifier as Gaussian or multinomial, or can be Bernoulli, that is binomial distribution. So here we learn about the Gaussian naive Bayes. What is Gaussian? Gaussian basically comes from your normal distribution. So you already know how will you give the probability density function. So if you have missed it, please watch it from my probability and statistics video lectures. So probability, let us say the density function. So f of x for a normal distribution is given by 1 by square root of 2 pi sigma square into e power minus x minus mu divided by 2 sigma square. So if this particular distribution, it follows particular distribution like normal, then I can estimate this probability value using the standard probability density function. So for that we need this two. So this function or this density function depends on these two parameters, that is mean and the variance. So how will you get this? You have to estimate this mu and sigma square from the data. That is the concept of the Gaussian naive Bayes theorem. Okay, now let us apply for our naive Bayes theorem for the conditional probability, this one. So how will you apply? So for example, say that I want to say calculate this probability of this particular feature given this class. So only thing that differs is for every class you have to find this, and for every feature you have to find this value. Given a class and that feature, you estimate the probabilities for that. So how will I write it? 1 by square root of 2 pi sigma. So let us say this comes from I. That what it means, x1, x2, x3 up to so on. There are n features and they contain some data, say n samples. These are the features and their data. Okay, in the column you can visualize like it a column. So and then there are some classes. So this belongs to one class, another class, like that. So that means what, for each class, for each feature, I have to calculate this conditional probability using the Gaussian normal distribution, Gaussian or normal distribution. So I am finding for sigma for I for say some class C, which is a given class, into e power minus xi minus xi means the given value. So they may give a x new value, x1, x2 like that, x1 new, x2 new like that. So that value minus your mean mu of this estimated value, right? This for that particular class, but to consider only those values for that particular class C. E square divided by 2 sigma square IC. This is how you calculate for each feature and given that particular class. We'll come to that estimation later in the next slide, but let us understand how it helps and what are its limitations. For Gaussian Naive Bayes, so what is the data type you use for? To think of where the normal distribution is applied. The normal distribution is basically applied when the data is continuous. So it helps us to estimate the probability density function for continuous data. For example, marks, height, sensor data and all. It is continuous, so I cannot measure it in discrete values. For example, 11.22. So why it is continuous? Because there can be any infinite number of points between these two. 11.22 to 11.33, I cannot find a fixed number of points. There are infinitely many points like 11.22 to 1, it goes till infinity. So that is kind of data we call it as continuous data. If your data set contains such data, then to apply Gaussian Naive Bayes theorem. What are its advantages? See, you already know the advantage of normal distribution. See, everything attributes to your the central limit theorem. So in the probability and statistics video, I have explained in detail what is it. Okay. So small data also work because you already know according to central limit theorem, if the sample size is greater than 30, I can easily apply my normal distribution. So it is simple, fast to train, and no discretization needed. That means I need not convert this to discrete values like 11, 12 like that. So it still works. So what are its limitations? See, you have to be very sure that our data fits a normal distribution. Else, it is too sensitive to non-Gaussian feature. That means the data does not follow normal distribution. Then you may get not that accurate results. Now, what is the importance about bias and variance and sample size? How it affects? See, these three parameters are important when it comes to your exams. Okay, most of the questions, conceptual questions can be asked on this. For a Gaussian Naive Bayes theorem, so it has high bias because the model is very simple. Works on small data and model is very simple. So it has high bias. It is underfitting. It may not capture all the patterns in your data. Therefore, it has low variance. Always there is a bias and variance trade-off. Okay, performs even well with small data sets. Yes, sample size, even if it is small, it works. What about the independency? Every Naive Bayes theorem or any Naive Bayes classification follows the conditional independence. So here also it assumes features are independent given the class. Okay, that is x1, x2, everything, all those features are independent of each other. So that creates a problem. Highly correlated data can cause the bias in the posterior probabilities. That is, your core values may be biased. You may not get the accurate core values if the data is highly correlated. Now let us see how will you estimate these parameters. Okay, what is that I'm saying? We wrote probability of xi given c as p of c into 1 by square root of 2 pi sigma I c square into e power minus xi minus mu I c square divided by 2 sigma square I c. Okay. Now, how will I estimate these values? Okay, how will I find the estimate? For normal distribution, this is nothing but average of all the values is for that class. For example, if I take x1, how will I find mu1? Okay, and then say there are two classes here. So class is equal to pass or fail. There are two classes, and there are two features. X1 equal to marks. X1, x2 is equal to attendance. So I have to separately find the estimates for this to calculate this probability. For example, what is that I am calculating? Probability of say x1, that is marks, given he has passed. Okay, this is one class. So how will I write it here? Probability of c into 1 by square root of 2 pi summation of sigma square. What is I here? I is 1. I am calculating for the first feature, the variance. And it has to be calculated for that particular class only for pass into e power minus xi. Say it's a new value they are given, mu I. So xi here is 1. So 1, that is for this feature. Mu 1 class is pass. Okay. So here this x1 means what? The new value. square divided by 2 sigma 1 pass class. This is what you have to find. Now I have to estimate these values, right? How will you get this from the data? How will you find out? You find out the average of x1. Not all, because for this class, for class pass, only those values you have to consider. This and this. Only 3 are for this class. So how will you write 1 divided by n c for that particular class? 1 by nc into sigma of xj. Some xj value that belongs to this class. Okay, that means what? These are the xj values: x1, x2, xj. Okay, xj equal to 1, 2, 3, like that. So for only these 3 values which belongs to this class, past class, this class only, that only I am to take the average. So that is nothing but x j c for that class. So this will give me the mean. So in this example, how will you find? So you can write it as mu 1 pass is equal to 1 by n. There are how many values for pass? Total samples 1, 2, 3. Only 3 are there. Into sum of all these 85 plus 78 plus 92. This is the will give you the estimate of the mean. How will you find this? I will write it as say IC in general. Can estimate it as, you already know the formula for variance, that is 1 by NC. It remains same into summation of for all xj that belongs to C. Variance is given as is xj minus mu IC whole square. So that means what? For this example, I'll write sigma square 1 the pass class. This is equal to 1 by how many n values for pass? 1, 2, 3. 1 by 3 into sum of all these, that is xj's. These are the xj's 3 values. That is, for example, 85 minus, I calculated this value, right? So mu 1 at pass into plus, sorry, so on for all the 3 values you calculate. So this is how you calculate. So you need not mug up the formula. Only thing is you understand how you calculate those values. Okay, for each class you have to calculate, because you are calculating the conditional probability using the normal distribution. If the class was not given, then it would have meant for all these values. Okay. So let us take an example. So suppose we have a data set of students with features x1. X1 indicates number of hours studied, say per week, number of hours, and x2 indicates marks. So with these two features, they are asking you to predict which class they belong to, whether it is pass or fail. So there are two classes, pass, fail. So observe here, attendance and marks follows the normal distribution. So I can calculate probability of x1. It is x1 means the number of hours it is given he has passed. Okay. Similarly, you find probability of x2 given he has passed. So this both will help me to give the score for pass. Similarly, if I calculate probability of x1 given fail, then probability of x2 given fail. These two likelihoods, from these two likelihoods give me score for, helps me to give score for fail result. Okay. So once you get this, how will you calculate this? So now apply the normal distribution 1 by square root of 2 sigma square, then this 1 and then pass into e power minus xi is given as 4. So this will be nothing but, we'll write it later. Some given x new value minus mu 1 pass square. So now you have to estimate these values. So that those values already they are given here, right? For all those they are given. You have to plug those and then find out these values, probability of pass and probability of fail. So if you calculate that, then you'll get say some probability values. I have not calculated here. What is that to calculate? How will you calculate the final scores? Final scores is P of pass given x1 comma x2. There are two variables or two features. So this will be probability of pass class into probability of x1 given pass into probability of x2 given pass. So these two values you are calculating here first. Okay. Then you plug into this. P of pass value is already given. So this will be give you the score for pass class. So if you calculate, I think you will get it as 0.00524. Okay. Similarly, you calculate score for fail. So likelihoods you calculate like this, and the estimates are already given for the normal distribution. Then you will get it as 0.0027. Now you apply MAP, maximum or posterior probability decision rule. So what it says, you select the maximum score. This one is the maximum score, this one is the maximum score. So this is classified as pass, because this is the score for pass, that is the highest. So this is how you can solve the problem. So only thing is, don't mug up this formula, you will get confused in the exam. You just understand that I have to calculate. This is the concept behind it. In the next video, we will understand the multinomial naive Bayes theorem. Okay. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.